Hourglass is listening to us. They finally came out with customizable palettes. They also came out with 5 new curated quads where the shades are already fixed in there, and if you like those shades, you can go ahead and get those. You just can't customize those. First, let me show you the curated quads that they came out with. The first one is Dawn. That one has dim light in the powder, in the blush mood exposure. The strobe lighting powder is opal strobe light, and the bronzer in lunar bronze. The next one is Dusk, and this one has all 4 blushes. You have Sublime Flush, Mood Flush, Oasis Glow, and At Night. Next is Golden Hour, where you have the powder Soft Light, the strobe lighting powder in Beaming Strobe Light, a blush in Iridescent Coral, and a bronzer that is Lustrous Bronze Light. The next one is Sunrise, that has the powder Diffuse Light, a blush Iridescent Rose, a bronzer Natural Bronze Light, and a strobe lighting powder in Celestial Strobe Light. And the last one, it's a little bit darker of the 5, and that's Sunset. That one has the powder in Transcendent Light, the blush is Lucid Glow, we have another blush in Sunset Glow, and the strobe powder in Infinite Strobe Light. These quads cost $78, so it's not cheap, and these are all existing shades. I'm sure if you have a couple of these palettes, these edits, you probably have some of these shades in it. What's nice this time is that we can customize our palette. So let's take a look at that. So we just click on the custom palettes. This one also costs $78. Now this one, when you buy it, it is final sale, so make sure you pick the shades that you really want, because it is custom, so really can't return it. So you can see the picture of an empty quad, and when you choose your shades, here is all of them together, and then you click Finish Powders, and there are 4 finishing powders here, and in the blush there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 different blushes you can choose. Now when they first came out, I noticed that there were 12 blushes. I believe 2 of them were bronzers, and 1 was Iridescent Rose. Now I don't see Iridescent Rose, and I think they moved the bronzers to the bronzer tab. And in the bronzers there are 6 different shades, and with the highlighters we have 4 different shades. Now again, these are all existing shades. I do have most of them. I think I'm missing maybe 4 shades, 4 or 5 shades in here. So I wanted to swatch the ones that I do have that are available to customize with, so you can see what the shades look together, if you need them, if you already have them, or if you're going to pass on it altogether. I really do think it's a good idea that you can customize your palettes, because sometimes you don't want a strobe light, you want 2 blushes instead of 2 powders, because some of these edits, they have 2 different powders. One is a little bit light for me, or maybe 2 bronzers, another one that's just too light for me, or only has 1 blush. So yeah, I kind of like the concept of choosing your own shades. So let me go ahead and bring you in closer, and we'll start swatching with the finishing powders, and I do have all 4. So I do have my notes here, and I hope I did it right, because it does get a little confusing here. So if I do mess up, which I probably will, you know, I'm just human. I'm only human. But anywho, let's go ahead and start with the powders. And the first one that they have is Diffused Light. And I have that in the Sculpt and Set palette, which is this one right here. And I don't use this one a lot because it is kind of light. So Diffused Light is a warm, pale yellow. Yeah, this one is light for me. I could put it underneath my eyes, but it just kind of looks a little ashy. So with the customizable palette, I don't want to put that shade in here. Also in the Set and Sculpt palette is Dim Light. And this is what I like. You can kind of see the difference here. And today I use this one on my left side of the face. So you can see it's not ashy or anything like that. So Dim Light is a natural beige. So you can see it's a little bit more peachier than Diffused Light. The next one is Soft Light, which is this one in the Elephant palette. That's what I have it in. And I use this one on the right side of my face for this look. So Soft Light is a soft pale peach. Yeah, this one's a little bit more brighter than Dim Light. And the last powder that they have that we can customize with is this one, Transcendent Light. And I have it in the Edit Trio, number 3. And I believe it also is in the Tiger palette, which I have, and the Sculpt and Set palette, which I just showed you, which I have too. And this one's also a standalone shade that you can get it by itself. But let's swatch you. And I like to use this one as a bronzer. So Transcendent Light is a warm sienna. So here are the powders that they let us customize with. Now I kind of wish there was one in between Transcendent Light and Soft Light, or even Transcendent Light and Dim Light. I just wish that there was just something a little bit more for medium tone. But I'm glad they included Transcendent Light, because this is a beautiful shade. I have used this one again, like I said, as a bronzer, which I did on the right side, use Transcendent Light as a bronzer. And in the middle of the summer, I can use this as a powder, but very lightly. Let's get into the blushes, and they have 9 different shades we can choose from. And I have everyone except for two because I think maybe they were a little bit light or they were in a palette that was too light for me. So yeah, I'm missing two, and I'll go ahead and swatch Iridescent Rose, even though it's not available to customize it with. It was in one of the curated quads. So that way you can kind of see what it looks like if you're looking into that quad, and I believe it was in the Sunrise palette. So the first one that they have is At Night, and I do have it in a single palette or in a single shade. This is really a beautiful one if you're my skin tone or deeper. So At Night is a brick red, which doesn't look like a brick red, but it is very pretty on. Next is Burnish Glow, and that one's in the Tiger palette, which is what I have here. And it's this beautiful blush. And this one is a warm coral. Yeah, look at that. Next we have Iridescent Coral, and that's in the Elephant palette, which I do have, which is this shade here in the bottom middle. And this one is a peony shade. Very pretty. Next I have Mood Exposure, and this is a standalone palette. I'm sure it's in other palettes, but for this shade, this is the only one that I have. And there you go, love the marbling effect here. And Mood Exposure is a soft plum. Now I have to say, out of the blushes that I have from Hourglass, this one's my least favorite. This one kind of looks a little bit ashy on me. But wow, looking at swatched on my arm, the powder is just so pretty. Now the next one, Sublime Flush, I do not have that blush. That one looks pretty, and that's a soft pink fused with lilac. I don't know if that one's going to be too light for me, and I don't know if I've seen that, or maybe I need to go back and see if someone else has that shade, Sublime Flush. The next one is Sunset Glow, and that's what I have on this side, and it's very pigmented and very pretty. And let's see, I have that one in the Blush and Glow palette, and it's this last one here. And Sunset Glow is a terracotta. Yeah, that one's very pretty. Very pigmented too. Now the next one is Lucid Glow, and I don't have that one. Those are the only two blushes that I don't have, which is Sublime Flush and Lucid Glow. And Lucid Glow is a shimmering warm coral. And that one sounds pretty too. The next one is Mood Flush, and I'm wearing it on this side. And when I first got it, or first tried it on, I thought it was gonna be a little light. But lo and behold, it's one of my favorite shades. This one you could find in the Sculpt and Glow palette, and I'm sure it's in other palettes, and I believe it's also a standalone shade. But yeah, when you compare with the other blushes in this palette, it is light, but wow, when I put it on, it's my favorite. And Mood Flush is a mid-tone rose. So yeah, it does look light compared to the others, but the tone of it is very pretty. A lot better than, let's see, I think it's Mood Exposure. Yeah, let me look here. Yeah, this one. So you can kind of see the different moods, Mood Flush and Mood Exposure. Mood Flush is a little bit more better tone. It has a little bit more better tone for my skin than Mood Exposure. And then the last blush is Oasis Glow, which is in the Evil Eye palette, which is this one. Now when I swatch it, it's a little bit bumpy for some reason. It's not smooth like the others. But let's see what Oasis Glow looks like. And that's a shimmering warm apricot. Now when this palette came out, we were all excited about this shade because it's not your usual Hourglass pinks. I would say it looked more like a tan blush, but when I applied it on, it is kind of light. Yeah, you can see it there. Or maybe you can't, it's right there. Now let's go to the blush that is not available to customize it, but it's available in the, I forgot what palette it was in the Sunrise palette. And I do have it in the Diffused Rose edit. Now, this one's not my favorite edit because it is light and it is kind of ashy, and so is Iridescent Rose. So I don't reach for this palette a lot, not a lot at all. So here is Iridescent Rose. So yeah, it does look a little bit ashy, but at least you can see it swatched on my skin tone. So here are the blushes and the powders that I have that you can customize with, except for this one, Iridescent Rose. Now let's swatch bronzers, and there are 6 of them, and 2 of them I do not have. And it's the first 2 on the list, and one of them is Diffused Bronze Light, which is a cool bronze with a soft yellow. Now it looks dark in the picture, but I believe it's a little bit white because it has that marbling with the white powder and the chocolate powder. When you mix them together, it does kind of diffuse it a little bit, which is why it's called Diffused Bronze Light. Now if it was just more of the brown marbling, maybe that might work. But I think that one's going to be too light for my skin tone. And I believe Lunar Bronze as well. That's the next one. That's a matte warm bronze. So those 2 bronzers I don't have, but the one I do have is the next one, Lustrous Bronze Light. And that one's in the Elephant palette. And let's go on this side. It's this one right here. And they describe this one as a bronze heat. Yeah, this one is a little bit light, but it's very pretty. You could probably use this one as a powder. Let me just swatch you one more time. So yeah, here is Lustrous Bronze Light. Next one is Natural Bronze Light, and that's in the Evil Eye palette. So this one is Natural Bronze Light, and that's a Radiant Warm Bronze. Yeah, this one's a little bit lighter than Lustrous Bronze. Yeah, you could probably use this one as a powder if you're my skin tone, but I believe Lustrous Bronze Light would be a little bit better. I hope you can see that there. Yeah, this one just looks a little bit more pink. The next one is Solar Bronze, and I use it on this side of my face, and I forgot to mention that I use, or maybe I did, I can't remember. I used Transcendent Light as a bronzer on this side. Transcendent was a powder, so I went ahead and used that one as a bronzer. I can't remember if I said it or not, but I'm saying it now. So for bronzer, I use Solar Bronze and Transcendent Light. And Solar Bronze, you can find it in the Snake palette, and this one is the Snake palette, but we were able to change it into a different palette, and I chose the Owl palette. So I don't know, snakes, not my favorite. So here is Solar Bronze, and this is a rich bronze. Yeah, this one's very pretty as a bronzer for my skin tone. And the last bronzer is Golden Bronze Light, and that's in the Sculpt and Glow palette. And that's this one here. Here's Transcendent Light, so you can kind of compare the two. Golden Bronze Light is a neutral golden bronze. So here are the 4 bronzers that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope you can see it there on my skin tone. Now let's move into the highlighters, and there are 4 of them again, and I only have 3 of them. The last one, it seems to be a little bit light, so let's start with Beaming Strobe Light. It's in the Elephant palette, and that's what I used on this side of my face, which is this one right here. It's very pretty. Do love this strobe light. And Beaming Strobe Light, it's Golden Sun. Yeah, look at that. The Hourglass strobe lights, they're not very glittery, don't show texture. It just kind of looks so good on. The next one is Celestial Strobe Light, and that's in the Blush and Glow palette that I have. And it's also in the Sculpt and Set palette as well. And that's what I have on this side of my face. Hopefully you see the difference. In the Blush and Glow, it's this one right here. And this is a Golden Champagne. Yeah, look at that. The next one is Infinite Strobe Light, and that's in the Snow palette, aka the Owl palette that I have. And it's this one right here. Let me use this finger. And this one is a Warm Gold. And the last one is Opal Strobe Light. That's a pale rose gold. And I don't have that one because I think that one's gonna look a little ashy since it says it's a pale rose gold. So here are the strobe lighting powders that I have, compared with the bronzers and compared with the powders and the blushes. So I hope that this helps. So again, I hope that this helps so you can see what it'll look like on my skin tone. Again, I'm missing, I think 5 shades, 2 blushes, 2 bronzers, and a strobe light. Yes, I could probably put 4 shades in a palette, but I think they're gonna be too light. So just to let you know, I'll be passing on making my own palette, mainly because I have them all here pretty much. Some I have 2 of them, some I have 3 of them, like Transcendent Light. So yeah, I will not be getting a customizable palette. Hopefully in the future, they may put new shades in there. So I hope this is not just a one-time thing with some of the previous shades that they have or the existing shades that they have. So hopefully in the future, Hourglass will keep listening to us and add some new shades that we can customize our own palette. But if you want to customize your own palette this time, I hope again that this helps. You can see the different shades on my skin tone, and also let you know what other palettes these were in, because you may already have them. And if you do have most of them, just kind of step back and see if you really need them. Again, I hope that this video helps with the swatches so you can see what it looks like on my skin tone. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video of me swatching my Hourglass powders that I have. That's available if you want to customize your own palette. So if you liked and enjoyed this video and it was helpful, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos like this, and you'll have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.